Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 65 of Mirrorless Minutes. Jamie here in Michigan. Mike, with the sun beaming down on him gloriously, is in California. And I need to pause my broadcast. So sorry about that if you could hear it. So anyways, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a whole lot to talk about. I guess
able to get it in.
Yeah, well, I guess it might run a little bit longer than the typical 30 minutes, I suppose. But we're going to lead off. I'm going to let Mike lead off with the first thing we wanted to talk about. And it's something that people have been asking about a lot because it's something we've been alluding to for quite a while. And that is at least the Chicago workshop that we've been talking about doing. So Mike will give you a little bit of detail on what we're planning and when we're planning it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the only way we do workshops is if people see that we're meeting at Panera.
Yeah.
I gotta honestly say, I think every workshop we've done, if it follows, if it's just prior to a meeting at Panera, you can pretty much bet we're doing a workshop.
That's usually how it goes.
Because we both have to drive in like an hour and a half, to halfway in to get to each other. So so it's Panera, I will say, offers us the greatest off space for those looking for it. But let's talk about Chicago, and this is something we sort of set up last year, talking about it for this year, but now we're there, and we're getting details worked out right now with the hotels and all that. So we're definitely moving that way, but it's going to be this September. So 15th, 16th, and 17th, and the 15th is a Friday. We're going to count that day in on it because we're doing a meet and greet that night about 7. And no way can we just, we thought about it, can just meet. So it's an optional meet and greet, but at the same time, it's sort of going to be an optional, hey, you want to go out and shoot at night in Chicago too.
Right, yeah.
But not too late. And I know that sounds funny because, the way we got to get out. But the next morning, Saturday, you just really got to prime yourself ready for Saturday because Saturday is going to be a long day. We are going to get out and hit sunrise, but we're going to hit the sunrise way before the sun rises.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, I mean, we are going to be up. Gosh, I don't know. We could be leaving at 5.
Probably. I'm laughing because I'm remembering Philadelphia last year,
right.
And this format will be very similar where, the first day is just like you said, it's kind of a meet and greet. I don't think we did it in Philly last year because you and I came in super late, but the meet and greet, optional shoot, and then Saturday morning, literally before the rooster wakes up, we'll be out shooting a great sunrise, and it's going to go all day.
And it never stops from there. We've got what we're going to do different this one, and something we wanted to do at Philly, we just couldn't get it to pull off correctly because Chicago offers us a great ability to have a hotel in the city, work in the city, and still go back to the hotel all within walking. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit out that sunrise so early, get back, let everybody get breakfast because when we get back, it'll probably be 7, 7:30. Get some breakfast, and then we're going to have a little bit of a classroom session, not long, hour and a half or so. Talk about what's coming up next. Talk about the morning shoot. Maybe talk about, hey, what would Jamie have done this morning post-processing with those pictures that we grabbed? Talk a little bit about the gear that we're going to take. And with everybody staying at the same hotel, it's really nice. Everybody can put their gear up in the room, go down and just take the gear they need for the next event.
Yep.
And then that next event is what we're going to do is we're going to jump on the Chicago subway, or the elevated subway, sometimes below, sometimes above. And we're going to head out to Wicker Park. And if you've ever heard about Wicker Park, it's a spot that I know Jamie and I love, and I always go there. I've done 2 or 3 workshops just in Wicker Park. And then even in out of Chicago this year, I'm doing a walk with Derek Story in Wicker Park. It's a great place to shoot. It's eclectic street shooting. I mean, you can walk into the stores. The people are cool that run the stores. We'll have lunch down there. I'm looking at my notes over here. And then we'll jump back on the L and get back maybe around 4. Let everybody sort of chill out because I think you're going to be pretty tired from there. Take a couple hours off on your own. If you want to go shoot, go shoot. If you want to, maybe get something to eat and rest your feet, it might be a good idea because we're meeting back up for our night shoot, which is to me is the absolute one of the best places to capture a sunset, and it's over at Adler Planetarium, and with the cityscape, it's just always beautiful. I mean, you really can't go wrong, and there's so much room. Everybody needs to bring a tripod for this one.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit there. We'll be there not only the evening to watch the sun go down, but I know you and I talked, and we're going to stay and make sure we get all of that blue hour, the whole thing, locked down. So, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm thinking by then people might be a little tired, because sun doesn't really set till, what do we say? Wasn't it like 7 or something like that, or 7:30?
Yeah. Yep.
Around then. So it's gonna be one long day, and that's when it starts to set. That isn't when we get back.
Right. It's just sunset, and then you've got to wait. The blue hour comes after that, and then you get.
Yeah, and I think everybody's gonna want to get back and see what kind of pictures they've been taking, because the next day there's some things that they need to do with those. But first in the morning, we're gonna start out on Sunday morning. And this time we'll walk. We won't be in any Ubers or anything like that. But we'll get over to Millennium Park. And, if you've seen the Bean or Cloud Gate in any pictures, it's a great place to go. But there's a lot more to that park than just that. Yeah. And we'll take you to some of the famous, or at least our favorite spots over there. And we got to do a class picture, of course, at the Bean.
Yeah.
And if we go early enough, not as early maybe as Saturday, but if we go early enough, we'll be able to get a decent picture without too many people there. But we'll come back, have some lunch, and we'll be back in our classroom for the next few hours. And what we're going to do is have everybody's going to break down their pictures. You won't be able to scan through every one of them, but you're going to pick out your 5 best, process them, turn them in, and we're going to have a class slideshow at the end.
Yep.
At the end of the day. And it's not really I don't want to call it a critique. Because it's not a heavy critique. It's, hey, what were you thinking when you shot this? Or actually, more than anything, I think everybody comes away from those saying, crap, we were in the same spot. I didn't see that. I know I always say that. I'm going,
no, yeah, definitely.
You see those people, so we'll end, the day will end about 3:00. So if you're flying in, you'll be able to get out. If you're driving in, you'll have some time to get out and get home, depending on where you're going. But it's going to be a long weekend. September. So here's the deal. It's not out yet. We have it written up. We're waiting to get that hotel locked down. It's going to be on meetup.com at Mirrorless Adventures. So I know, Jamie, you said you'll put it in the show notes.
Yep.
Our suggestion is join Mirrorless Adventures now. It's free to join Meetup anyways. It's cool to join no matter what city you're in. I bet you there's a photography thing there. So join that meetup, and if you join Mirrorless Adventures, you'll get the notice as soon as it goes out.
Yeah,
and we expect it to go out probably within a week. I don't expect it to take any longer than that.
Yeah, the link to our meetup page is actually already in the show notes. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just look at the description right there, and you can see it and follow it. And like Mike said, in about a week, the registration will go live, and it'll have the pricing on there. And I think when you see the price, you're going to be pretty floored at how cheap this really is. Because Mike and I don't do the whole, super high expensive workshops. It's just not. We just like setting it up. We basically have to cover costs for the most part.
Exactly.
But if you go over there, as soon as just get registered, like Mike said, so you can get notified, because the class is going to be small. That's another thing we don't do. We don't do a big giant workshop. We want to keep it small enough to where there's plenty of one-on-one interaction, so everybody gets the most out of the experience as possible. So
and you're going to
early.
I think what people will be surprised about, and I know I'm not surprised, and you're not, but I mean, to see how you can take some of your landscape processing and you put it to that cityscape processing, and it just like blows the normal cityscape pictures away. So look at just for that alone, because I know everybody's excited about your landscape stuff, but you throw it into the city stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit! Whoop, I shouldn't swear. Sorry.
Oh, now we're explicit. I'm gonna have to edit that one.
Edit that one out. But you get excited. You're talking about Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've done 7 workshops in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago for a couple of years. It's a great place. We're there and out of Chicago this year, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
That was something I wanted to mention too. I know I've spoken with probably 4 or 5 people in the last 2 weeks that really wanted to be able to attend out of Chicago, but for one reason or another, it wasn't going to be a reality for them.
Mhm.
And I think this is an option for someone who wants to come to Chicago
That's a good idea.
and
Yep.
not, have to worry about where do I go to shoot, or, is it safe to shoot in this area? Because, Chicago is a huge city. So there are some areas you probably don't want to go alone.
Yeah.
So, if you're with Mike and I, you're going to get an educational experience. It's a social experience, and
Mhm.
it's going to be low cost.
Look,
So,
and I'll tell you, for those that have never done a photography workshop, you cannot underestimate what it's like to focus on photography for a whole weekend with a bunch of photographers.
yeah.
I mean, you don't have your family tugging at you. Nothing wrong with anybody's family. I love my family too. But no one's saying we got to do this, we got to do that. All we're doing is shooting and talking about photography.
Yep.
By the end of the weekend, it's like, God, my photography has improved tenfold in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's because you're focused on it.
And another thing too is like making friends, So, I mean, I think we constantly bring up Victoria Diaz as one of the examples of that. But, there are other people that I talk with on Facebook almost daily that I've met through either out of Chicago or the workshops that you and I do. So it's a social thing. It's an education thing. And, most of all, it's a photography thing. So,
So, all right. Well, that's just one little thing. I mean, really.
Jeez.
That's one little thing. Sorry, we went a little long, but this next one might take long too. I'm letting you segue into this, man, because this is going to be big.
Okay, so I've gotten requests. Mike's gotten requests. We've gotten requests from people on and off over the course of the last year or so, saying that it's great. They love the show. It just kind of stinks that it's every couple of weeks, and I know that some people that that watch a show, they might want more than just the back and forth banner. Some people want some technical information. They want to know well, hey Mike, how do you set your camera up when you're out street shooting? Or Jamie, if you're out shooting these little small birds perched somewhere, what are your settings? What gear are you using?
Right.
And Mike and I, lots of times we get to where we don't think about mentioning that stuff on the show, and we might do an image share and we just kind of gloss over some of that stuff. So we kind of kicked around the idea of putting out something that comes out in between episodes of Mirrorless Minutes, where we can kind of just talk about whatever. Lots of times I think it's going to be gear related or inspiration related, or whether it's our workflow, what have you. So it's going to be between episodes. So it's going to be between the minutes. So that's what we're going to call this, is between the minutes. And the way this will work is not video. So if you're someone who learns visually from everything, I really apologize. It's not going to be for you probably. It's going to be audio only. We're going to work this out to start with, I think, by feeding in these audio podcasts directly into the feed that Mirrorless Minutes is on. So if you subscribe on iTunes or the Google Music Store, I just cracked my knuckles. If you subscribe in either of those two places, I think what you're going to see happen is tomorrow evening-ish, somewhere around there, this episode of Mirrorless Minutes will come out. And then sometime after that, just in your feed, you're going to have a new download available, or it will show up on your device of a Between the Minutes episode. Mike and I are going to try to title them so that you know who's doing what show. So if you get sick of listening to me talk, you can just, I don't want to download that one. I want to listen to Mike. So you can get those shows that way. And the reason we're going to do that is because it's one less thing for you to have to do on your end. You don't have to subscribe to another show.
Right.
And I don't have to, or Mike doesn't have to take all this stuff, set up a new feed somewhere, and point the other systems like iTunes and Google to that other one and manage a whole separate one. So we're going to be combining feeds, and the schedule for this is not going to be as I won't say it's going to be as rigid as Mirrorless Minutes has been. Mirrorless Minutes, we've been dedicated. It's been like every 2 weeks on the money. I think we've only not had a show one time.
One time. That's it.
And I blame my wife.
Oh God, don't blame her.
But she's got a good excuse. So, but aside from that, these will just be, when Mike and I have time. Mike travels a lot for work. I know every once in a while, I think he wants to unplug when he's on a plane and not have to be hammering away on something for work. And that might be a moment where he takes out his phone or recorder and records an episode so that the person sitting next to him can wonder, what the hell is this guy doing? So it's going to be when we get time, or it's going to be when a subject strikes us that we think we want to talk about and share with you guys. I've actually got 2 already done because I had some ideas floating around in this crazy head of mine. Sat in front of this big silver thing and just started talking. So they'll come out, randomly.
Yeah. And I think, I wrote up my show notes, we'll call it, on the plane on the way down, and I already have the first one. And actually, I can tell you a little bit, not only talking about what Between the Minutes is, but I'm going to go into exactly what I'm doing here. I'm here on business. I've got 3 days. What am I taking? Here I'm talking about what I'm taking, but I'm actually telling you how to find places to shoot when you only have that hour and a half. You got to do some research before you ever get here.
Yeah.
And there's some marvelous things you can do. So yeah, some 4 tips. And I think you'll be excited to read it. We don't have to write it out. We can talk. And, and if we got anything else cool to say, like I think the other one you were talking about when we talked on the weekend was like inspirational stuff. Like, heck, I'm out here on the coast of California. I might just bring out my darn iPhone and just talk while I'm shooting a sunset.
Exactly.
This is what we're doing.
Yep.
and you'll get technical advice from it, but at the same time, you know what? It's going to be easy to listen to, and we won't be pounding them like every other day. I can tell you that.
No, without a doubt. But,
yeah.
But I think it'll be good, just because these will be done in the same format that we do this show. It'll be loose, laid back. It's not going to be. It's not going to be, it's not going to be boring in that manner, I guess. So, and the length of these, they'll vary. I think it might be every once in a while we might come up with, just a quick little 10-minute tip, something that we discovered on our camera that is benefiting us, and when we shoot, and we want to share it with you guys. So when are those going to start? They're going to start soon. Like I said, I've got a couple queued up. I know Mike's got his. So, just stay tuned for that. You don't even have to change anything. Like I said, they'll just appear.
But you got to subscribe. You got to go over to iTunes and or Google. The Google. What is it called? Google Music Store.
Yeah, it's Google Play.
Okay. Google Play. Okay, so get over there and subscribe. And you know what? Even better, if you like them, could you rate us? Because if you give us some stars and some ratings, it moves us up in those photography podcasts, which are multiple photography podcasts. And but it'd be good to have some ratings out there. Say, hey, I like this. And plus, Mirrorless Minutes is out there. All of our shows of Mirrorless Minutes are out there too.
Yep. And like Mike said, if you do that for us, it helps us show up. It makes it easier for someone else to find the show. I know that we might not necessarily appeal to everybody, but, some people would never find out about us if they weren't able to find us easily by looking for photography podcasts. Bob Finlay in the live chat just asked, so if I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, will I get notified the same way? Sadly, you will not. So hopefully I can get you to go from here over to iTunes, or if you're an Android person, go over to the Google Play Store and to the podcast section and just search for Mirrorless Minutes. And if you don't do either one of those, you could also do a search for us on SoundCloud, because that's kind of where we're hosting everything at currently. So, and you can find the shows there. You can subscribe to us that way as well.
Yeah, and I see someone else is asking how often Mirrorless Minutes streams. And that's going to stay consistent. Our Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And you know what? If we hit an exciting topic, I think on one of these Between the Minutes, you're likely to hear us talk about it on Mirrorless Minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
And what you might end up seeing is what I'm thinking is seeing some of the photos from what we talked about while we were here. So that's how I view I can do this.
No, I think that's a great idea, and I'm glad you said that, because I think that will work out perfect, because it's audio only, and while Mike might be on the coast, the Pacific coast over there with an incredible sunset, and he's just excited and he's telling you exactly how he's doing it, you're going to want to see it. So I guess it's a way. I know Mike's photo shares probably will be that way on the show. So I think
for sure.
The same. So that's that. Between the Minutes. If you're listening on iTunes or through Google or whatever your podcast catching service is, you don't have to do anything. We'll just show up and be on your device regularly that way. man, next thing. So I don't even remember what we were going to talk about next.
We're going, next we're going about Olympus and the giveaways.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? Because I've got like you know what? It's funny. So I was going to be wearing some of this stuff. Mike is.
I'm wearing something. Okay, of course this is Olympus. It's hard to tell, but there's a long sleeve shirt. These are nice shirts for California. It may not be nice in Michigan right now.
Right.
It's a great shirt.
It's like that. What do you call it? It's almost like a
wicking and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a wicking material. It's like a sport fabric. I don't know what that you call it. My kids probably know what it's called. I'm getting old. And not cool. So, anyways, Olympus has decided to do a giveaway in conjunction with us. So, what we're going to do, you need to be a subscriber. Okay, you need to be subscribing here on YouTube. I was gonna say that you need to subscribe on iTunes and all that. I really can't track that. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. So subscribe here on YouTube. You must be a subscriber, and we're going to randomly draw names over the course of the next, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 episodes, and give away some stuff. And one of the things we're going to give away, well, is the shirt, not the shirt off of Mike's back. We're going to give away the same kind of shirt. Now, the way it works is we draw your name, and you'll email us, your information, and we provide you with a code so you can swing over to the Olympus gear shop, enter that code, and that shirt is free, and it ships straight from Olympus to you. Right.
Like this shirt that I'm wearing, I think is a $30 value.
Yeah.
From the store. It's $30 in the store, and it's a nice shirt.
Yeah. So another thing is this drawstring bag, and it's funny. I'll admit, and this is gonna sound bad, I was expecting this to be one of those cheapy kind of
trade
show type bag. It's not. I mean, the draw cord is like freaking meaty and huge. It's got actually a couple of pockets inside of it for storing gear, and it's got a pass-through grommet for your headphones because you can store, a phone or whatever in here. Another pocket right here to store stuff inside of, and it's pretty big size.
And it's thick. I mean, yes, I actually considered bringing that along this time, just, throwing a wrap around the camera and just throwing it in the back.
So I like this bag so much that when my wife saw it, my wife normally gives me crap. She's like, "Oh my God, you got more crap. Where are we going to put this stuff?" But when she saw it, she said, "Oh, great. You can give that to Mason. He can use it for a gym bag." And I said, "No way. Get him a cheap, crappy one. This one as a gym bag." Sorry, Mason, if you're listening to this. It's my oldest son, by the way. So another one of the things you could win. Let me dig into my bag of goodies. I was going to wear this, and my wife said, I'm a nerd. But I am a nerd.
You weren't.
Next
show, I'm putting mine on.
It's a Columbia safari hat that's not made to fit over headphones, but you get the idea. It's actually a really nice hat. It's vented on the top. I'm putting it down here, and you can't even see it. So it's vented on the top. It's got the Olympus logo. It's nice. It's Columbia. It's good stuff. So we're giving away one of those.
More in the bag.
Another hat, a beanie. Yeah. I love the beanies. You've probably seen me on numerous episodes wearing Olympus beanies. The ones I was wearing were ones that came with headphones in it, and they weren't great, so I cut the headphones out.
Yeah, that's what.
And that just made the beanie big and not comfortable. This is actually a nice, well-fitting beanie. So we're giving away one of those. This is not the shirt off of Mike's back. This is my shirt, but the same kind that Mike was talking about.
Yep.
It's Hanes. It's lots of good stuff. They don't give away crap.
Yeah, and the stuff in the store, though, I was going to say, all that stuff in the store
is good.
Are top name brands.
Yeah, they don't give away anything. They don't put their name on garbage.
No.
And then the last thing, I don't have it here because, my wife did commandeer that, and it's an Olympus coffee mug, and she's actually downstairs drinking some tea. And I've got my tea in a Call of Duty mug and not an Olympus one. There's a problem. Please.
Right.
So those are the things we're going to give away. So I think it's like 5 different things or something we're going to give away. We might give away 2 per episode. I don't know. Depends on how long we want to drag this out and make you guys wait.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. If you don't win, not everybody can win. I'm not one of those parents that says everybody gets a medal because I'm sorry, sometimes in life you don't win.
Nope.
But if you're listening to this show, you're going to win anyways because we can knock 15% off one of those items at the gear shop if you want to go buy one. If you use the promo code MM2017, Mirrorless Minutes, obviously, 2017, you can save 15% on anything at the gear shop. Yeah. That's the
check
gear
check
shop.
it out.
That's the
gear shop. Yeah,
not cameras. Sorry, they've already got killer stuff going on with that, and we'll talk about that in a minute too.
Yeah, but apparel gear, I think we got to
yes. You can get the coffee mug. You can get. They have like a little Swiss Army Leatherman kind of tool thing. They got all kinds of stuff.
There's some cool stuff there.
15% off, and that code is good until the end of this month, so March 31st. I'm getting out of breath. I'm so like hyper tonight. I don't know what the deal is. It's this coffee. This tea. I got some good tea from work, so I got the good stuff, man.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So that's the giveaways. Now, the next thing. Do you want to talk about the trade in, trade up? Do you want me to talk about it?
No, I'm pushing it that way.
Yeah,
but I'll at least I'll say
Go ahead.
I'll give you a chance to breathe.
Do the intro.
Here, let's do this. You want to throw in the picture share right now, and I'll go.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we could end up and go that route there.
Okay, good call.
Let me see what I can find here on my laptop. Okay, here we go. All right, you see in the tree? I hope.
Yep, there we go.
Okay. Okay, so I've only got 3 pictures tonight, and it's not for lack of shooting. It's just for a lack of time putting everything together. But this was just from a couple of weeks ago, freezing cold morning, but we went out. I wanted to fly my drone, which you'll hear me talk about. It's actually going to be one of my between the minutes subjects of why the heck a drone? Why buy a drone? But of course, I'm not going anywhere without the camera. And this is just a beautiful one of the lakes on Belle Isle, like the interior lakes, and that sun. The sky was just it was unbelievable sunrise that morning, and I just couldn't pass capturing this. I really love this, but this is one I want to get in the house. I always can tell when my wife says that's one we're printing for the house, so that must mean it's good. But then last week I was out in Arizona, and again this is about 3 hours to do some shooting, of course, at the end of the day, and some of the sunsets there in Arizona in the Tonto National Forest. You can't believe how beautiful they are when that sun like this, how this is just kissing the top of the mountains and the sun and the orange and that. And then also the same night, even a little further, and both of these, by the way, are just driving. Just me pulling over and saying, oh my gosh, because I was actually out flying the drone around a lake, and this is all I caught on the drive back, both of these shots. And just love the orange in the sky out there. And I actually downloaded some presets on Lightroom with some teal and orange presets, and those are the things I'll probably talk on one of the between the minutes. And I use those not only in this shot, but in these presets, but I used them in this shot too. And it was really sharp, and they're actually made for video processing. But they have the same set for Lightroom as well. So I ended up picking them up for there too. So yeah, that's my sunrise and 2 sunsets. And I'll hopefully Jamie's caught his breath.
Yeah.
And he can.
I think I'm smiling so hard because I had no idea you were going to talk about those presets. I'm not using those. But I've been making my own. I've been sharing some street shots from Chicago and New York over the past few days on Instagram. And the way I'm processing them in Lightroom is a lot like what you're talking about. It's basically split toning using teal and orange. It's so weird that you're talking about that because it's so powerful as far as how it works in landscapes and in city environments. It's really cool.
It is crazy, especially that one in Belle Isle. And that was just applying it. And so what you said is I've started to design off of those, starting to save my own from those. Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
This definitely sounds like a
between the minutes
episode. You got it.
Yep.
All right. So let me share some photos here. I think I've caught my breath now. Wait 1 second here. Hold on. Let me do this real quick here. Boom. Change pictures. All right. I had them out of order. I hate when I do that. So here we go. All right. So the first thing that I want to share here. Okay. It's up on the screen. It's checking. So Mike and I met at Panera Bread to hash out the final details of the Chicago workshop, which we don't have a name for yet. Man, we got to come up with something catchy. And I told Mike when I was leaving there that I was going to go to Kensington Metro Park because the herons are there. There's a rookery, which for those who aren't bird nerds, it's basically a big nesting area. And if you've seen a blue heron before, a great blue heron, they're tall, kind of gangly. They don't look like they have any business being in trees. So when they nest in the trees during the mating and breeding season, it's exciting to go check that out. So I had to go over there and shoot the herons. And this is shot with the EM1 Mark II, the 300 millimeter f4, and the MC14 teleconverter. So like what, 420 millimeter, something like that. Straight out of the camera, with just a little bit of an adjustment to the blue channel so that I could get the sky to at least have some sort of contrast against the heron here, because it was really gray and gloomy and just, it was nasty. This was with Pro Capture. This is a male heron bringing nesting material back to kind of impress the chick behind him. It was just, it's cool to be able to shoot these kind of shots. We were there, and the people next to us, all down this, it's like a boardwalk that faces the rookery. Everybody had Canons and Nikons, and they had so much humongous gear. I thought it just looks, no offense, I'm going to piss somebody off, but it just looks stupid.
It looked really like did, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. I'm thinking, what in the hell are these people doing with this gear? It's freaking huge, and I'm out here.
One guy looks so sore, and it must have been a $10,000 lens, I think.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, come on! Like, it didn't even look fun. It looked like work. It looked like that out there, like construction workers lugging around big hunks of tubing, you know, to shoot. Anyways, I'm off subject. Anyways, so this is what you can do with an Olympus camera. This is not cropped. This is just the straight shot. I should have queued up an image so you could see just how far away the rookery was, but it's quite a ways out there. The next shot is, I don't even know why I shared this. Again, it was just kind of showing what you can do with Pro Capture. I was doing a series of shots trying to get this guy that's on the left here taken off away from this tree that, I'll admit, I baited the birds with peanut, stuck it in the tree there. But as soon as he took off, another one flew in and was just kind of checking me out. So I just thought it was, I'll admit it, it's cute. Okay, so on to the next one. So this is straight out of the camera, no adjustments at all. This is the EM1 Mark II with the 12-100, and the previous shot too, 12-100 as well. So this 12-100, it's a sandhill crane. While I was shooting the shot above, this guy kept trying to stick his beak in my pocket to see if I had more peanuts. The birds at Kensington Metro Park, a lot of them are very accustomed to humans feeding them. And well, as I said in the shot above, I was kind of baiting them with a peanut. So this guy right here knew that I had food. So I was able to get just a ridiculously close-up portrait of this crane. They're really cool animals. They sound like dinosaurs, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so straight out of the camera again. The next one is definitely not shot with any of my Olympus cameras. So it's nice weather out, and Mike has been inspiring me to make sure that I get the drone out and shoot with it every once in a while. And I have the bigger drone. I should have got something portable. I'm starting to think after looking at Mike's Mavic, but so I'm shooting with the DJI Phantom 3 Advanced, and this is a gravel pit that's probably about, I don't know, 8 miles from my home, and I've always wondered what it looks like from above, and now I know. The water just is like this really crazy color. So I don't know, I just wanted to share it. I don't have a whole lot of descriptors for what I'm doing tonight. I'm just kind of rambling, I guess. This was shot literally probably 40 minutes after the gravel pit shot with the drone. I was out with my son. He's in a photography class in high school, lucky him. And he needed the assignment was to get shots from 3 different perspectives. One was bird's eye, the other one was eye level, and the other one was down low. So we cheated, used the drone for the bird's eye view. Needless to say, everybody in the class was pretty impressed with that. So then the next one, him and I were in the woods doing some down low shots, looking for moss and stuff like that. And it was getting to be later in the day, and the light was getting just really soft and gorgeous. So this is with the EM1 Mark II again, but with the 40-150 Pro. And I had the teleconverter on that too. I don't know why I had that on there. I think it was just left on from a previous shoot. So this is at 210 millimeters. And this one, you know, is processed. It's used one of my, you know what it is, Mike? It's the orange and teal split toning now that I think about it. So it's with the
really?
yeah. And it's flipped. So my city shots, the teal is for the shadows and the oranges for the highlights. And this is reversed, I think, on this one. But so yeah, 40 to 150 at 210 millimeters. And then the last one, something that's not the EM1 Mark II for a change. I went out walking with my wife and son and took along the Pen F and a non-Olympus lens, which I don't remember the last time I did that. And this is with the Voigtlander Nocton 42.5 millimeter f.95, wide open at f.95. The distance between this first dead flower head and the one behind it is literally probably a couple of inches, maybe like 4 inches. And that's how far you can blow it out of focus with f.95 for an aperture. The lens is crazy. It's not something I shoot with very often. I kind of think maybe I should shoot with it a little bit more every once in a while. But
yeah, you shot with it a lot before.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we didn't have the 25.
Well, that's why I haven't shot with the 25 Voigtlander.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Come on, Olympus, give me that 42 and a half, 1.2, and then the Voigtlanders go away.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I'm gonna mention real quick before we finish up. I want to show the bag I brought with me, this Mirrorless Mover 30i from Think Tank, and the reason I'm showing it to you, and I don't want to tip it all out, but that's my whole drone. 4 batteries, the drone, the controller, even a landing pad.
Jeez.
And my iPad to fly it with, all in that Mirrorless Mover 30. So yeah, look for that being on Between the Minutes too, because Think Tank sent that to me to show how good it would fit with the drone. So yeah, it's cool.
Mavic owners take note.
Yeah,
that's definitely really cool that that they make a bag that's like perfect for that setup. It's like almost like they thought of that one in advance somehow.
Yeah, and I think I'll figure a way to get my Olympus, at least my Pen F in there somehow too.
So a little bit more to talk about really quickly here. So trade in, trade up. Olympus has this deal going on right now where you can, and I'll be honest, Mike and I just kind of looked at this right before we got on the show. We weren't sure of all the details of it, and I'm looking at it right now on their website. But basically, you can go to this website called usedphotopro.com/get Olympus. If you go through that web address, you can get an estimate on what they will pay you for your camera gear. So let's say you had, I don't know, and I'm looking on my shelf like I'm going to sell some stuff. So if you had like the original EM1, let's say that they would give you, I don't know, $400 for it. So if you sell it to them through that portal, they give you $400. Then Olympus will give you $200 bonus. So there's $600
to
put towards something on the Olympus website. So it's a cool way to unload some used gear or some gear you're not using, and get some money back for it, and then get some bonus cash on top of that from Olympus to fund the purchase of the new EM1 Mark II, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I hear a lot of people telling me they want to get that camera, and they're working on putting the funds together, and this is a good way to get those funds to add up. So again, just swing over to Olympus. It's right on their front page, and it'll take you to the landing page that talks about all the details of the program. But we told them we tell you guys about it because I know a lot of people, like I said, are longing for the EM1 Mark II after seeing everything that's been getting shared online, and this makes it even easier for you guys to get a hold of that camera. So another thing on the Olympus website.
About your contest, is that what it is? You're judging.
So I love shooting black and white. I don't do it often enough, but they know that I love shooting black and white. They know that I love black and white. I have a passion for it, and they asked me if I wanted to judge a black and white photo contest on the Olympus user gallery, and I said yes. I might have put an expletive before the word yes, but I said yes. I'm really excited to do this. If you just swing over to the Get Olympus website and go to the user gallery, if you're an Olympus shooter, sign up on that gallery. Every time you upload photos, you can earn points to use it like that gear shop and get like those hats and things like that. So there's a benefit to doing it aside from sharing all your work on the website. But if you're already a member there, or you're going to sign up and you have some black and white images to share them on the gallery and use the hashtag BW contest. And you've got until the 31st of this month to get them on there. And then I'm going to go through, and it's not going to be easy because there's a lot of good work on there, but I'm going to pick out several images. I don't know how they're doing the whole thing. I know that the winner gets $150 to be used anywhere on the website. So put that towards a camera, trade in the old gear and get even more money. I'm trying to make it easy for you to get an EM1 Mark II. But I'm going to be going through, like I said, and judging this contest. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody else has to share. I've been browsing through it, the last several days, and it's pretty inspiring work.
Yeah, it's not easy. I know I judged that one for Pen F, and man, that really took a long time because I kept, debating it myself. This was a great shot. This was a great shot. There's a lot of great shots.
Yeah. Is it just our ecosystem? There seems to be a lot of talent. If you look at our user groups on Facebook and you look at the user gallery here, if you just browse on Flickr, there's a lot of great work coming from these cameras.
Yeah. That is great, for sure.
Why am I thinking there's something else to talk about?
I don't know. Let's see. I've got that. We talked about the code. I don't think there is. I actually think we may have hit it all.
We did it in 40 minutes, man.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I think the key piece about the show is, two key pieces is the workshop. You should get ready. Let's make sure you get, signed up to Mirrorless Adventures so you get the notice. And you're going to see us blasted all over Facebook when it's ready, I'm sure, too, and everywhere else we put it. But at the same thing, and then, hey, between the minutes, I mean, it's your 20-minute ride to work. It's your hour ride to work. You can listen to two of them. You can listen to Jamie's and mine. But it's, I don't know about everybody on the show, but that's what I do. I mean, I'm always listening to. In fact, that's one of my between the minutes is going to talk about podcasts. Yeah. Which ones do I listen to and why?
That's a good topic because that's all I do on my commute to work.
Yeah, because I mean, I think you'd be surprised at some that aren't necessarily photography related,
right?
That I actually listen to, So I don't want to give away anything up for my between the minutes though right now.
All right.
Want to wait.
I think that's it. I know that I had something else I wanted to talk about. And I'm like looking around like I had it sitting out, but it wasn't I had sitting out, so I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. 2 weeks from now, we'll be back here talking into these things to you guys. And in between that show and this one, probably be getting to hear us again, through between the minutes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the questions, you guys. I'm going to get off of this live broadcast and I'm going to answer as many of these questions as I can because you guys
I see a bunch out there.
So you guys take care. And again, if you get a minute, just swing over to iTunes or the Google Play Store and rate and review us. We'd love you guys for that. And see you in 2 weeks.
Hey, buddy. Take it easy, everyone.
See ya.